What's up guys, how's it going? The Otakunator's coming right back at you again with another video. I know it's been about a week since the San Japan video, but con videos make a long time. Now that that's done, I definitely wanted to do a few more gaming videos before I start going into the next con video, which is IkiCon. So yeah, that one's coming. Why are my glasses always dirty with these things? But anyway, now that, whatever. Let's go ahead and take care of the clean glasses later. But anyway, so gaming video, yeah. So yeah, like I said, IkiCon's next. I'm working on that. All the conventions are kind of like getting canceled right now, so I'm probably not going to have a convention video for a while. So I may take my time with this IkiCon video, so that way I have another video to throw out there during all this closed convention time, which is pretty sad. I mean, that's definitely that was my bread and butter of this channel. I just recently started doing more gaming content because I promised myself as a New Year's resolution I would, because I love gaming. And of course, people seem to like me more as a streamer, so that's kind of why I'm doing this kind of stuff now. And plus I love video games. I definitely wanted to talk about more. But anyway, enough about me. Let's go ahead and talk about the two big video games that I wanted to talk to you about today. Animal Crossing New Horizons from the Nintendo Switch, and of course, Doom Eternal for PC, PS4, Xbox One. Wow, we've been waiting for these games for a while. It just seems like all the memes, all the hype, everything and anything that came together, the two fan bases came together, which was great. I loved all the artwork, I loved all the video memes, I loved all the collaboration with Isabelle and Doom Guy. Hilarious. But how do these two games stack up now? I mean, of course, now that we're here, now that we got both games, hold on. Okay, sorry, Doom Eternal's thing went out. But yeah, now that we got two games out, it's just wow, holy crap. First off, lots of good times ahead of us. So with the quarantine and all that good stuff going on, glad we have something to kind of keep us busy and have our minds set. And both games are really good. I like both games, they're pretty fun. But let's go into details about a little bit more on these games and how they play and so on and so forth. Alright, so first we'll start with the good old Nintendo stuff, Animal Crossing. I think we've all heard the joke that, oh no, if they play Animal Crossing, they're not a real gamer, they're just completely and totally casual, which I never quite understood. But if anything, I always wondered the opposite. Well, what is it about this game that gets so many people interested? It doesn't matter age, gender, race, it doesn't seem to be that big a deal when it comes to this game. It brought so much happiness to so many people. People that I never thought would play video games have played Animal Crossing. So of course I was always like, what is it about this game that made people just want to play it? Obviously it's first party Nintendo, so I kind of had half my answer right there. But of course, fanboyisms aside, I was really curious about it. So I don't think I really heard much about it until Animal Crossing New Leaf, the 3DS version, but the 3DS system was one of my all-time favorite consoles to ever exist. So they definitely had a lot of freaking powerhouses in terms of library. It revived the Fire Emblem franchise, it brought back 2D Samus, it brought back 2D Link. It definitely did a lot for, I think Nintendo in general. And of course, New Leaf was one of those big heavy hitters that I think just made a splash in just the gaming community in general. Now Animal Crossing is kind of like a household name, similar to Pokemon, Halo, Uncharted. It's just Animal Crossing is something they know. It's something we all know about now. Of course, they had the the Wii version and the GameCube versions of the games, but that's just, I never knew anything about them. I never heard anything about them. I didn't know that many people played, so I know New Leaf was a big one in terms of how many people picked up their first Animal Crossing, and it just made so many people happy. So of course, naturally, I wanted to know what the happiness was for. A fan of first party Nintendo, I can add another from one of their franchises to my collection, right? So I've decided to, of course, bite the bullet and pick up Animal Crossing New Horizons. In terms of how it plays and everything like that, we'll get into it later, but let's just go ahead and talk about the general stuff. I think the characters look pretty cute with their felty designs. I think they look very fluffy. They're definitely very animated. I can definitely see why people care about these characters. They do have a visual appealing, I guess cutesy kind of vibe, but not in a cringe way, alright, cool, I can accept it. You can take them seriously, but there's still that adorableness to them. And of course, customizing your character. It's pretty basic, but it still feels like enough to make it feel like that's your own character, or that's even you. I mean, depending on how you want to play it. Some people just like creating an avatar, others like to like put themselves into the game. Me, I just kind of kept it basic. I was like, let's kind of make it look like me. Who knows? I mean, not too like me, but whatever. This is my first Animal Crossing game. I don't know the rules. I mean, I kind of went in like I didn't really care about the island. I heard a lot of people changing the island and changing, restarting basically so that way they can get the villagers they wanted. But since I knew nothing about the villagers, I didn't care. I got whoever I got and I was happy with them. Plus, villagers move in, people show up, so on and so forth. People move. I mean, it was just like the possibilities are endless, so I didn't really care about that. But of course, everybody's got their preferences. And I heard some people restarting because they wanted, a specific island or an island within an island or something like that. But I mean, it didn't bother me all too much. I was pretty happy with what I got. And I was just excited to play my first Animal Crossing game. So, I mean, things that, I liked about it. Of course, when I got off, the plane and got onto my little island, I see the endless weeds, the endless fields of weeds that everybody talks about. So I couldn't wait to pick all those weeds and, just join that meme finally. So, I mean, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, I feel like people say, oh yeah, it's just dumb fun, but I mean, it's not. It's fulfilling. I mean, I think the addition to Tom Nook and the Nook Miles definitely make it feel like any little task you do is definitely worth something in the end. I definitely like that system. I mean, the Tom Nook Miles, it's giving you a value, a currency for all the little things for basically just playing the game. You plant some flowers, you get some Nook Miles, you make some do-it-yourself items like the axe, the fishing pole, everything like that. It's pretty cool. You get items, you get miles, and of course, you find, doing the fishing, just basically playing the game. It feels rewarding. Like everything you do feels like it's for a reason. So I can definitely see the addiction appeal in terms of that. In terms of the actual crafting, that's specifically new to this game. And of course, I feel like that's a little bit annoying in terms of like everybody's trying to be Minecraft, everybody's trying to be a crafting game now. I mean, even Breath of the Wild kind of took from that. I mean, which is fine. I mean, it's just like, I just feel like it's not original because so many games do it. But I mean, I definitely feel like it works in this game. I mean, Breath of the Wild kind of made it like, I don't know, I didn't like that the weapons broke. I feel like they broke too often, and for that one you couldn't make anything, so you had to find it. But in this game, you the trees, the wood, the branch, even the weeds, like they make something. They're used for something to help you play the game, and I like that. I definitely feel like collecting is a lot more useful, a lot more fulfilling, knowing that, okay, well, if I collect enough things and my axe breaks, I can make a new axe, so on and so forth. So that part's definitely fulfilling. The fishing is fun, everything like that. The bug catching's fun. The weeding, a little bit tedious, but replacing the weeds with some flowers definitely feels fulfilling and satisfying. So I can definitely see the gameplay wise. Visuals are charming. Like the water looks clean, crisp, beautiful. It's like, got this crystal reflection. The leaves kind of look like real leaves, like plasticky, almost like, like healthy, like, I don't know, they just look so shiny, so that's definitely cool. I mean, some other things, like, like I said, the characters had that felt look to them. They look like stuffed toys, stuffed animals, so on and so forth. So it's definitely appealing to the eye. I mean, in terms of the horizon thing, it kind of like looks like it's on like a big like cylinder almost, and of course you can change the map to make it look like a lot flatter, more like a bird's eye view. So that was definitely cool. I mean, I don't have a preference when I'm doing some weeding, I guess you could say. I definitely switch back and forth between the two, so that way I can get a better look around the trees and make sure I'm getting the ones behind it. But other than that, I don't really have a preference. But some other things that I can definitely say I like about this game is, people say that when you first start the game it's really slow, but I didn't mind that. I actually enjoyed the fact that you can take your time, and you can look for things and you can find things, and then you once you completed your task for the day, like that's it. Like when you first arrive on the island, Tom Nook needs a specific amount of items. I don't know, I think it's like what, 5 of the mixture between bugs and fish, and then he calls Blathers, and Blathers will be there the next day. And then, of course, when you're collecting miles, you can use that to pay for your house, or like pay off your debt, your arrival debt. Basically, you're getting to the island debt, and then you can start working on a house, and then your house will be built the next day. And then when Blathers shows up, because I'm like 2 days in, you can get him a specific set of items so he can open up his museum. I mean, of course, but once I guess you could say Tom Nook gets his items to get Blathers, you have to set up his tent, and he doesn't collect anymore. So like, okay, I'm done for the day. And then when Blathers shows up, once you give him all the donations to, your fossils, your bugs, your fish, he stops taking items. And of course, collecting pretty much is done at that point. I mean, I run out of space, I run out of inventory, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm done for the day. I'll wait for tomorrow. I mean, I definitely like that. I feel with a game that eats up so much time, that's something that I can definitely respect, to be like, okay, cool, I'm done. I can do this up to a certain point, and I can go play something else. I mean, one of the reasons why I never got into Animal Crossing myself was just because it was like, I needed a beginning and ending. I don't like games that are never ending. I like purpose. I like objective. I like structure. I like a beginning, middle, and an end. So I love single player games. However, I feel like this one gives me goals to achieve, accomplish, and then I can be done for the day. And I like that a lot. It's a turnoff for some people, but personally, this was probably the best place for me to start as a fan of Nintendo and just in general to like take a deep dive into a new franchise. I feel like this is the game to do it. This was the Animal Crossing for me. So overall, I mean, of course I got good things to say. A few complaints. I mean, I feel like camera control would have been a lot better. I mean, I know it's not traditional in the Animal Crossing game, but I feel like that could have definitely helped it out in terms of, user interface, playability. Bigger inventory. I mean, I don't know if you get that later, but just bigger space. I mean, I know you can set things in your tent and outside and so on and so forth, but I just feel like the lack of storage just kind of doesn't make me want to put it anywhere. I get you can put it outside and whatnot. I don't know. That bugs my eyes, so I don't want to. But personal preference. I just wish there was some kind of storage box I can place things that I wasn't using, needing, or wanting to have. Of course you can sell it, but I mean, I want to keep it because I know I'll get a bigger space and more space later. I can set my things. So I mean, those are just minor complaints. Of course, those might be resolved by playing the game more. Who knows? The crafting thing is pretty cool, but yeah, I feel like after a while, I understand for some it can get monotonous and tedious, and then I just feel like the game at first, maybe this is just at first, it doesn't give you all the items you need. So for example, when you get your pole vaulting pole, of course, your workbenches are on the other side. When you go exploring somewhere else and your pole breaks, you basically have to have like workbenches at every single station, like every part of the island, basically. So that way, like if it's cut off by water, you're gonna need a workbench there just in case. So I mean, I feel like that's a tad bit tedious, but it's not like that's a small complaint. That's like a quality of life kind of thing. I mean, that's, like I said, teeny tiny. If I had to find stuff to brag about, or not brag about, but harp on, that's definitely one of them. So I mean, you got to search for those materials. Obviously, they don't show up every day. Like the iron, it's kind of a hard material to get, and so it's just like, well, just be careful. Carry 2 poles with you just in case, But that's not neither here or there. But I mean, those are my only complaints so far. I mean, I would probably like a little bit more variety of music. I don't know if it changes by the season or time of day, but I feel like it's just kind of been the same track. And maybe when you build up your town, it changes. But yeah, overall, I'm having a great experience with this game. Like I said, I'm not going to have like a full-on written review. I mean, of course, I'm not going to get into like hardcore things like, oh yeah, frame rate, blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, the frame rate does drop here and there. I mean, I feel like for such a game that doesn't have that much going on, it shouldn't have to do that. But like, that's a small, tiny complaint. Obviously, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Like, frame rate and graphics are not really that big a deal. It's just ever since I upgraded my PC and now it's a beast, it's just things I noticed. But like I said, not a huge thing, so that's why I'm not going to harp on it. But it's still there. But yeah, overall, I think I will definitely enjoy this Animal Crossing game. I mean, when I got to try out New Leaf, it was like for like a few days, and I was just like, this game's not for me. But this one, I just find myself really into. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like I understand the hype. I mean, will I sink several hours into this game for like the rest of my life for the next several months? Probably. I'll probably like play it like an hour a day, or maybe hour every few days, depending what the schedule is. I mean, I'll do some Animal Crossing nights with the fellas for streams. But overall, I think I would definitely enjoy this game. But I know, just like Splatoon and any other game that has events and whatnot, I will eventually stop playing it, which kind of makes me sad because it's like I'm gonna put all this hard work into this town and at one point it's gonna be irrelevant. So there's a part of me that kind of sees that in the future, and I'm just like, well, let me play something else that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But again, I feel like this game is meant to be that way. Just like have fun for as long as you want, as long as you can, and then, you know, kind of set it aside. But everyone's different. But anyway, I've blabbed on long enough about this. Call me Blathers number 2. Yes, Animal Crossing, good. I like it. I enjoy it. It's something I'm glad I picked up, and of course it's something I can't wait to continue playing and, you know, hopefully get to share more of those streams with you guys. Also, big shout out to the Animal Crossing devs for every time you catch a squid, it's a Splatoon reference. Oh my god, I love and appreciated that. That was literally the best thing that I've encountered in this game thus far, and I don't think anything else will top it. And every time you catch one, it's another Splatoon reference. That, my friends, is a great game by itself. One of the most important games, and I think one of the most fun games of the PS4 Xbox One generation, was Doom 2016, or just normal old Doom. That game was pretty awesome, pretty fun. Lots of action, of course, and the soundtrack was amazing. But I think one of the biggest things about it was that it feels more like a continuation of Doom 64, because, you know, the Doomslayer decided to stay in hell like after the conclusion of Doom 64 to kind of keep things going. So I mean, to finally get, you know, Doom Eternal, you know, basically almost 4 years after the release of that game was pretty awesome. It's kind of definitely, since, you know, PS5 and I guess Xbox Series X or whatever is starting to come out, hopefully it'll come out this holidays. There's also, you know, those thoughts that it may be delayed or whatnot, but I mean, I feel like this is definitely one of the good ways to end this generation with Doom Eternal. It definitely feels like, of course, you know, Doom 2016, I mean, looks great, plays great, feels good. I definitely feel there's a lot more enemies in this game, most of them being slower, so that way you can farm resources, which is pretty cool. I mean, the action pack is like in no short supply by all means. It's still freaking exciting, it's still fun, still pumps you up, still very exciting to play. It just definitely makes you feel badass, and of course the soundtrack is just freaking awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's a great game. And there's definitely a lot more lore and story in this game. I mean, I feel like Doom 16, 2016, I just call it Doom 16, just for, you know, easier reference. But yeah, I feel like that one was definitely like about the here and now, about how, excuse me, about how, like, you know, the Doomslayer got back from hell after, you know, 64, how he got captured. So you get some backstory. One of the things that's cool about Doom Eternal is it gives you more of like a God of War-esque like backstory in terms of the Night Sentinels, in terms of like how the Doomslayer got captured and all that good stuff. I mean, it does tell you some things about it in Doom 16, but this one I feel like dives a little deeper. I mean, of course, I'm at the beginning of the game, so a lot of reading. I mean, of course, I don't mind that personally, but I can definitely see how like streaming it can get annoying. I mean, of course, people watching you from action and blood pumping, and then all of a sudden it's just like, bam, here's like a several paragraph story, and I'm gonna read it. I like games like God of War and Doom, or like God of War, just anything that had like a lot of lore to it, a lot of stories. So I mean, like Bayonetta, that also had a lot of lore to it. You know, of course, you had your different types of like deities and whatnot. So having the Sentinel Knight story and kind of like the background story on that's pretty cool, and how it relates to heaven and hell. Of course, I'm still pretty early in the game, so I haven't gotten to the like Samuel Hayden, like what happened to him in the trailer. He's all like deformed and everything, and like messed up and like half a robot now, so I'm definitely curious about that. Vega's back, so I mean, he was the AI in the first one. I mean, you destroyed his computer, but I remember you backing it up specifically in that game, so the fact that he's back is pretty cool. And of course the inclusions of new monsters and everything like that. I mean, seeing demons from like past games coming back is also pretty cool. I mean, the imps look more like, you know, the imps from the old days and whatnot. So overall, I definitely think this game is really good. I mean, there's definitely a lot more to play to it. It's not different in terms of combat, and a lot more cutscenes, which, you know, they're welcomed. I mean, I don't think it was needed for a game like Doom 16 didn't really have any cutscenes. It kind of just did everything from the first person perspective, and I kind of liked that more. But I get it, you're going to want to make this game cinematic, especially after after waiting so long, you definitely want to put a lot more work into it. But I mean, in terms of complaints, I mean, I feel like it can get too extreme. I mean, in terms of into the bullet fighting and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot more power-ups, which is good, which is fun. I just feel like they don't give you a lot of time with them. I think basically how it feels and how it plays is, and thankfully I did this, but it feels like it expects you to just like come right off Doom 2016. Like you just played it at most a week ago and you kind of remember everything and it's all fresh in your mind. So me, I did stream it, as you guys, I don't know if y'all watched that or not, but I did stream it beforehand, like a few weeks ago, and had a very short time between that game and this game, so it feels fine. But like when you get a new power up, like, oh hey, you got the grenade launcher, you get it for like, maybe I'm literally in the first 2 levels right now, like that's all I've beaten on stream, and like I've gotten everything pretty much. I got the flamethrower, I got the grenade launcher, I got the chainsaw, so I feel like it doesn't give you that much time with everything. Well, what I liked about Doom 16 is that it gave you things slowly so that you can kind of get used to it, and then you got the next thing, and then got used to it, put it in your repertoire, and then you got used to it and you got a new thing. This one, it's like, okay, but then the first 2 levels, you get the dash, you get the double jump, you get the the flamethrower, you get it all, the chainsaw. So like it's kind of hard to like, oh man, like what's what again, and of course Doom 16 and Doom Eternal, the battle's pretty fast paced with rock and music, so you just forget what you can use. You forget what you can do, and you forget like oh man, I should have remembered flamethrower, I need shields. But I think that'll definitely keep you on your toes. And of course there's an inclusion of extra lives where if you die, it's just like an instant respawn. It's like, oh okay, bam, well here's another set of like health and shields. So I definitely like that a lot better. I mean, it takes care of like the annoying like having to start at the checkpoint. So even though there's more enemies and it's more fast paced, and I feel like the enemies hit harder, I feel like having that one up or that free life or whatever definitely helps you out in terms of being able to respawn whenever you want. I guess instantly, pretty much, so you don't have to continuously go through the loading screen process. And they're pretty easy to find. I mean, the problem is getting to them. Like you can usually see them, but they're kind of like secrets. You gotta go and get them. And the upgrade system is different. It's unique. I mean, I'm still not 100% sure on how it works, but I feel like your power-ups and whatnot are just not the same. So I don't really have too much to say about it because, again, first 2 levels. But so far, I mean, it's fine. It's easy. I mean, you still get, of course, the armor, the health, the ammo upgrade. But doing that, like, also gives you other upgrades. Or if you get 2 of the same, I don't know, like, how to explain it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting how it goes. I gotta dig a little deeper into it to see what it's like, and kind of get used to it. Right now I'm still kind of like, oh, I don't know, I got more health, I got more ammo, let's do this. And of course upgrading your weapons, I feel, is the exact same. The layout looks a little different, but that's completely the same, so I definitely felt comfortable with that. The guns look like they did from the older games, which is cool, but I kind of liked the futuristic look of the 2016 Doom. Like the plasma rifle looks like the OG plasma rifle from the 90s, so on and so forth. I figured since so many thousands of years, or maybe hundreds of years, I can't remember exact timeline between that one and this one, like of course the Doom Eternal and the 90s games, I figured since so many years between that one and this one have kind of transpired that they would actually keep the weapons looking different or futuristic or whatnot. But it's still cool to see that throwback and that callback. But just kind of would have liked to gone to Earth and been like, all right, here's how the weapons look on Earth since you've been gone for so long. But I mean, it's refreshing to see the OG weapons and how they look. But I much rather would have seen something newer. But anyway, that, again, small complaint. I played the PC version. I feel like it does look a little bit choppy, and I mean, I'm sure there's something I have to do with the settings that I'm just not aware of right now. Part of me wishes I just got it for console instead, because streaming it is annoying. Like, it doesn't work very well with Streamlabs. I have to do display capture, and when I do that, there's even more issues of trying to get the screen off of Streamlabs to actually get into the actual game, but it's a bit of a struggle. But I mean, at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. It still looks good. PC looks good. I mean, I definitely like the way it looks. It's just tinkering around with the settings, but I wish it... Usually, like, the NVIDIA graphics software will kind of, like, optimize the game for you, but in this case, it didn't. I don't know if it just hasn't been out long enough, or it just... it just decided not to do it. But I mean, I just feel like it could use a little tweaking. I feel like there's a lot of choppiness in the actual game. And I mean, I have a pretty decent like PC. I mean, to get the 1080 60 frames per second, I have a higher CPU and GPU that they were requesting, so I don't know what the problem is. Who knows, maybe I'll just drop the resolution to see if that helps. Even though the computer says I'm still doing 60 frames, it definitely does not look like it. But yeah, I mean, small complaints. Other than that, I definitely think this is definitely another great game that I'm glad kind of came out, and I've been waiting for a long time. I mean, definitely was more excited about this one than Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing just kind of happened to be part of the memes, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get both. I like first party Nintendo, and Doom Eternal is a game I've been waiting for a long time, so hey, let's get both. But who knows if that was a smart financial decision, but that's a story for another time. Alright guys, well, I've definitely gone on about both games long enough, so we'll go ahead and end this video because it's already pretty long. Well guys, so tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you don't? I mean, of course, shout out in the comments below your thoughts. I mean, I think, like I said, both are really great games. Both, I think, do cater to two different audiences. However, I'm a kind of like across the board gamer. I mean, Doom was very like 90s, that story is still continuing, so I've kind of kept up with that over the years. This is my first Animal Crossing game, like I stated already, and yeah, just kind of excited for this new adventure. I kind of I don't know, just something about it just kind of was like, you know, it wasn't really so much the hype because I've like kind of like pushed hype aside before, but this game, just like looking at it, seeing all the stuff you can do, and I was just like, I'm genuinely excited to play this game. So I mean, we'll see where things go. I probably won't do a full review on both of these games just because that's going to take a lot of time as well. I mean, of course, if this video just automatically makes me super popular, yeah, but you bet, you know, I'm gonna make more of these kind of videos. But this is more of just like, since this was such a big gaming release day, I definitely wanted to get like my thoughts and opinions out there on both. Both are great games. I love both. I'm going to be streaming both for a while, so hey, especially Animal Crossing, because with the Doom campaign, it's kind of like one and done in terms of the stream. I think I'll play it a second time just to kind of, I feel like the game and the lore make more sense usually my second time around, and Animal Crossing is just a game you can play forever. So anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget, shout out in the comments how you feel, and of course subscribe, blah 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 blah, all that stuff that everybody wants you to do, because hey, it helps us out. So not just me, do it to your other content creators. And for those who are watching on Facebook, because I'm going to throw this video on Facebook, don't forget to give it a share, all that good stuff, likes, comments, blah 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 blah. But anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and go, so I got more Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal to play, so peace out.